Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Allison Kreger, and I'm honored to be the Program Director of the Wheeling University Department of Physical Therapy. I would like to welcome everyone here today to recognize the Wheeling University Doctor of Physical Therapy class of 2025 in their White Coat Ceremony. The White Coat Ceremony is a symbolic event for students making their transition into the healthcare field. It is a rite of passage signifying the start of their professional journey and an emphasis on the humanistic aspects of patient care. These students have now successfully completed all of their didactic education within this program and will now head out to complete their educational journey with their 2 terminal clinical rotations. Throughout the past 2 years, these students have worked hand in hand with faculty who have supported them along the way. I would like to introduce the faculty and our speakers today. Dr. Diana Vargo, our university president, Carrie Abraham, Father David, and then our PT faculty are Dr. Chrissy Grubler, Dr. Rhonda Haley, Dr. Brian Rodenbush, Dr. David Edwards, and Dr. Douglas White. There we go. Okay. Today, I'd like to introduce our keynote speaker. She was selected by the class of 2025 to come say some inspirational words to them. Dr. Carrie Abraham is an associate professor in the exercise physiology department at West Liberty University. She was previously a clinical associate professor of physical therapy at Wheeling University for 23 years. She has 30 years of physical therapy experience, with the last 23 being in the academic setting. In addition to her teaching duties, she has also performed the job of academic coordinator of clinical education. Dr. Abraham holds a bachelor's degree in physical therapy and a master's degree in public health from West Virginia University. She earned her doctorate of physical therapy degree from Temple University. She also held an ABPTS certification in orthopedic physical therapy. Her primary teaching responsibilities have included content in exercise physiology, orthopedics, neurology, public health, women's health, professional issues, and service learning. Her scholarship presentations have been at the state, national, and international levels, and they have primarily focused on the delivery of his service learning courses in the physical therapy curricula and on the delivery of physical therapy education through the problem-based learning model. She works with the Ohio County Family Resource Network, serving on their board of directors. She currently serves with the West Virginia chapter of American Physical Therapy as its bylaws committee chair, where she has previously served as a president. She is currently serving on the board of directors of Wheeling Health Right. I'd like to welcome Dr. Carrie Abraham.
Okay, my heart is right here, so I'm going to give it a minute to kind of come down a little bit. I'm very nervous, but I'm also very honored that you asked me to come back and speak to you. So I'm going to try to do this without tears. However, those of you that know me, that's not always possible. But I can't tell you what it means to me. It's a very special day for all of you and for all of you. So I'm thankful and very grateful to be here today. So when I was thinking about what I might share with all of you, thinking back through my memories of when I was sitting in chairs like you, and all of the things that have shaped me into the professional and personal person, I guess, that I am, the word helpers came to me because we hear that a lot. PTs are helpers. They're nurturers by nature. We hear that a lot in PT admissions, like, why is PT a good fit for you? I want to help people. And we all have said that at some point in our careers. That's why we chose it. But what I have learned over the course of my time is that how you're helping people and who you're helping changes as you evolve and mature. So I wanted to share a little bit of those experiences with you, and maybe there's something you might take away. So we're going to Walmart it and roll back to 1994. Y'all remember 1994? 1994, I was 22. I had just graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Physical Therapy from Wheeling Jesuit College at the time. Young, limited life experience, naive. I haven't grown out of that one yet completely. Free-spirited and adventurous. first I thought, yep, I'm going to help people walk again. I'm going to help them raise their arms. I'm going to help them go to the bathroom. It's going to be great. I'm going to relieve their pain. And as a new grad, I was so focused on the mechanics of what I was doing, making sure I was doing everything correctly. I got all the techniques right, and I didn't miss anything. I was helping people every day at my job. As I matured, I no longer wanted to simply help people with those mechanical things. I started to feel a little bit more in my gut, a little bit more of a call. And I was hearing, Carrie, this is not what I had in mind for you. You can do more. You must do more. So then opportunity knocked. I was working full-time in a clinical setting at that time. So opportunity knocked quite loudly in 2000. I was given an opportunity to enter the academic realm here at Wheeling Jesuit, initially as the academic coordinator of education. No academic experience, no credentials. Those invitations don't come often, if at all, to which your faculty can attest. That was a unicorn opportunity. So I discussed it with my husband, and I decided to accept the challenge, thinking that this woman, who was my boss at the time, must see something in me that I don't recognize yet, or she's completely out of her mind. Either way, I accepted the opportunity, accepted the challenge, and it took a lot of work. I had to acquire a certification and credentials. I had to go back and get a master's degree. Eventually, I had to go back and get a doctorate degree, while at the same time adding 3 children to our family. My husband is saintly. And as I spent time with students, I realized helping people. Students were my people. So it shifted a little bit as that opportunity presented itself. So I learned that each student had a story, and their journey was so different, and it was my role to help them along in that journey, wherever it might take them and wherever they have been. I was a short piece of where they were moving through at Wheeling Jesuit University. Now Wheeling University. Sorry, that's a bad habit. I can't get that out of my brain. It was not just about teaching joint mobilizations, developmental movement sequence, bronchial hygiene, pelvic health. It was helping them to acquire knowledge, practical skills, and the qualities of a kind, caring, compassionate human being who will touch the lives of so many. To show them the importance of advocating for those less fortunate, helping people. The moral of that story? Be open to opportunity, and don't let your fear or the uncertainty of it hold you back. Don't be afraid to be better or to be great. Around the same time, my service moved from traditional clinic time to more community outreach. People were calling me here saying, I was told you would help me. I was told that you could help my father or my mother. So I started seeing patients pro bono on campus. And at the time, we were seeing these patients around class schedules. It was crazy. It was a mess. There were patients everywhere, and people running around everywhere, but it was a beautiful blessing. So with each person I served, I found myself taking the time to exhale, to look into their eyes a little longer, to hold their hand a little bit longer, making more of a human connection. Identifying the needs of a person doesn't just come from goniometric measurements, strength dynamometry, gait, or joint play assessments. It comes from making the connection to them as a whole person. When in traditional clinical practice at a local hospital, I'll never forget this woman. We started our visit, and I started my patient history with my pen and paper. That's how long ago it was, pen and paper. And she became very overwhelmed and emotional. And so as I was trying to redirect my history during the interview process, I realized I'm not going to get anywhere. This is just not happening today. So I put my pen and my paper down, allowing her the opportunity to unload her emotional stressors. They were undoubtedly contributing to her neck and her shoulder pain. That's just what she needed that day. She said to me at the end of our conversation, and I had referred her to pastoral care, and we got her the resources that she needed, but she looked at me and she said, I saw your cross necklace and I knew you would help me. I knew you would listen to me today. Know this, people notice your nonverbals, people notice your affect, people notice your openness to those connections. If you don't keep those things in check, it's going to limit your patient interaction. Now, was this a billable service, as you all know? No. Was my hospital very happy on that day? Probably not. But had I not done that on that day, we would not have been as successful in her treatment encounter or the episode of care as we were just giving her that 30 minutes of time for her to talk. She felt supported, valued, and listened to. Moral of that story, listen to your patients. Not just their reports of symptoms, but really listen to them. Never forget that they are real people, not simulated patients. Their moms, their dads, their grandmothers, their sons and daughters, and they are in pain, and at times they're afraid. Be sensitive to that and know that it will affect what you do, and you'll be more successful by doing it. So life rolls around, you're getting into a groove, getting nice and cozy, and then life says, okay, you're too comfortable. And 2010, the earthquake in Haiti, thousands of orphans. I was at the DeCarlo's Pizza in Elm Grove, watching the newscast on the TV. I went straight home and told my husband, we're adopting those kids. And he's like, okay, let's talk about that a minute. And I said, okay. So I did. I sat on that call, that feeling. I prayed about it. I wasn't sure what it meant. Maybe it's not adoption. Maybe it's something else. So many people with physical needs, not just from the earthquake, but from the lack of medical care and simply living in Haiti. It's a very hard life. But surely I wasn't expected to go there, right? Like, I'm just a simple country girl from West Virginia. Like, what am I going to do in Haiti? And it's funny because one of my kids' favorite videos when they were little was a VeggieTales Jonah story. And I felt like Jonah. You know, the Lord wanted to send him to Nineveh. He didn't want to go. He said, I'm not going to Nineveh. So what did he do? He sent him a whale. He was like, okay, you know, I'm not doing that. That's how I felt. Like, you really don't want me to go there. What possibly could I do in Haiti? So over time, you know, I kept praying, and he kept saying, nope, that's where I want you. That's where you need to be. So eventually, we were out in Pittsburgh one night at a Cirque du Soleil show, Michael Jackson nonetheless, and Man in the Mirror came on. And, you know, some of you know, that's like my ultimate favorite song. And they were presenting that, and it was just like today. Like, my heart was leaping out of my chest, and I looked at my husband and said, I got to go to Haiti. He said, I know, it's time. So then that started a new journey of taking students and medical teams to Haiti to try and train the caregivers there to be able to care for the people that they come in contact with every day. And that happened until we could no longer safely travel there, and then we moved to the Dominican Republic after that. But what I learned over the course of those trips were that they weren't about me. Although I had the call initially, the work wasn't just about me. I was the vessel to get the team together that the individuals there needed. I didn't have to do it all. I just had to listen to what I was being called to do and act on it and take that action. It's about the medical professionals that had come to provide care to children who've never seen a doctor, to adults who'd never seen a healthcare provider in their life. So after 5 years of trips, kind of in the middle of this whole tenure of trips, I was sitting there one night. There was a local hotel that had a swimming pool that would allow teams that came to this international partner to go and to take a dip in their pool to refresh after their day of work. So I was just sitting there reflecting on the week, thinking it's overwhelming, and at times it feels so hopeless because you don't see a lot of change. You've worked hard for 10 and 12 hours, and you wonder, what good does it do? And I was watching my team, and it hit me just then that I was watching the physician and the physician's assistant. I'm like, this is why we're here. They are providing immunizations and vaccinations to children to prevent the diseases that they were suffering from and suffering long-term disability from. So that became a very humbling experience for me, which is the moral of this story, is to be humble and know that it's not all about you or it's not all about me. It's recognizing that a need exists, letting go of your ego, and being the one who needs to fix everything, and be a vessel for the best fix around. This will happen to you with your patients as well. There are patients that are going to require skills that you just don't have, or that they're not your strength skill set. You can refer them to another provider or another practitioner who has that skill set and is excellent in providing that provision of care. That will come back to you in spades. and the patient rapport that you garner by identifying what their needs are and telling them, I have someone across town who is excellent at that, who is a specialist in that, that's who you need to see. And being okay with letting that go. Not always easy to do. I'm almost finished, I promise. I just have these stories. Enter the APTA West Virginia. In academia, faculty are required to provide service in multiple layers to the school, to the community, to the profession. So when I started my job back in 2000, my boss at the time asked me to be on the ethics committee for the state physical therapy chapter, which of course I said yes. Had never done that before either. I didn't know what I was doing. So I'm like, sure, I'll do that, I'll learn. So, and that led through a continuum into a position of secretary, vice president, and then 2 terms at president. And the more I served, the more I learned, and sometimes the more frustrated I became about the unfairness in our healthcare system. I don't know about you, but I get a fire in my gut when I come across injustice. Do you know that little meme of Kermit when he's like feverishly typing? That's me. And Zach is like, who you sending a letter to now? I'm like, you wouldn't believe what just happened. So send those letters to your representatives and to your members of Congress. Communicate the needs that your patients have. But we should all be that passionate and feverish in our lives about things that are worth fighting for. You should have that pit in your stomach, that fire in the pit of your stomach, to protect your profession. There are folks right now trying to take away things that you do, skills that you can provide to your patients. And there are individuals that want to cut what you get reimbursed for those services. So you have to speak up. Voices in community are more effective than an individual voice. So being a member of your profession is really, really important to be able to communicate that. We have to fight for patients to have access not only geographically but financially as well. So whose job is it? Is it Dr. Grubler? Dr. Haley? Mine. No, it's yours now. It's all of ours, right? And everybody has to do their part, because you can't look to your peer next to you and say, I'm really busy, can you fight for the both of us? It doesn't work that way. Okay, so work together, be a member of your organizations, and really work hard to advocate for access to your services with your patients. The moral of that, well, I do want to tell you, when I took those positions, especially that leadership role, I did not know what I was doing, and I was scared to death. And Dr. Grubler talked me down on more occasions than I can possibly even count. So I'm very thankful to her for many things. But that was a big deal to have that support. So the moral there is fire up, get mad, and get in there. Get active. Doesn't matter if you don't know what you're doing, because here's the secret. Not everybody does. But you get in there and you work together and you figure it out as a group, as a team. And don't stop with service to your profession. Your neighbors in your community, providing service to them will do more for your own self-fulfillment than you can imagine. Find the helpers. Be the helpers. Over the past 2 weeks, we've seen that unfold here in the Valley after the devastating flooding that took place, but the community sprang into action. Cooking, donating, organizing, delivering supplies and food, mucking out the mud, clearing out homes, preparing to rebuild. Be the helper that shows up. Show up. Don't sit back and wait for somebody else to do it. And don't sit back and wait for people to ask, because that happens a lot. You know someone's going through a challenge, or you're going through a challenge, and somebody says, let me know if you need anything. How many times is that person going to reach out and say, I need you? If you see a need, show up, right? Act on that. Act on that message. That's the moral of that story. Show up. And sometimes when you think that you have everything all figured out, set and settled with a plan for the remainder of your days, the creator of your journey makes it clear that your plan is not his plan. Now, you can handle this in 2 ways. You can fight it, but you'll soon realize that fighting what was or was not divinely meant for you will only continue to create heartache, anxiety, and steal your joy. Or you can lean in. It can be very scary to let go of that need for control, to change something that is so familiar and so comfortable. You may grieve what your life plan was, but if you allow yourself to hear the peace, the guidance, and the assurance that the Lord is communicating, you might find more joy in what is to come than you ever thought possible. Growth can be stagnant in our comfort zones, so get outside there. You'll find more joy. The purpose of our lives is not what we do, but it's the impact that we have on people by doing what we do every single day. That's at home, that's in your communities, and that's at your work. So when you're faced with a decision that really creates a pivot in your life, pray about it. Then be quiet. Allow yourself to appreciate the message that's being sent to you. If you don't quiet yourself, you can't hear it. Listen intently, breathe it in, and reflect on it. The moral of that story is to have courage, suppress your ego. It's loud, and it can really confuse things sometimes. And just be quiet and be still and listen to what the Lord is saying to you. It will open up so much more room in your life for experiencing what it can really be. That's the title of my talk, that I didn't know I had to give it a title, but my motto these days, ride the wave and find the joy. Ride the wave of your lives, but find the joyful experiences in each opportunity that you have. Helping people, what it means and what it looks like in your lives will change throughout your journey, and sometimes the person that you need to help is yourself. But listen to the calls when you get them. Be open to opportunity. Listen to your patients. Be humble. Fire up. Show up. Have courage. And get quiet. Yes, we're scientists, medical professionals, but we are first human beings, all living on this earth together. It's a blessing that we can serve one another, and we as PTs have been given an amazing gift to transform lives and to improve the human experience for everyone. So thank you for listening, everybody, and congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Abraham. All right, so we're going to move on to the white coat ceremony, but I would like to just give a little history on the white coat ceremony process, I guess. The very first white coat ceremony was held in 1993 at Columbia University, where Dr. Arnold P. Gold was a renowned pediatric neurologist and a champion of human-centered care. Dr. Gold envisioned the white coat ceremony as a ritual to emphasize the importance of compassion and patient care. It serves to elevate the value of humanism as the core of healthcare. It provides a powerful emphasis on compassion in combination with scientific excellence. The American Physical Therapy Association has identified the following as core professional behaviors that it recognizes in physical therapy practice: accountability, altruism, collaboration, compassion and caring, duty, excellence, inclusion, integrity, and social responsibility. These professional behaviors have been integrated into the education that these students have experienced over the past 2 years, helping shape them into compassionate, informed clinicians who are out to change the world. As Steve Jobs said, the people who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones that do. Today we recognize the academic achievements of the Wheeling University class of 2025 with the receipt of their white coats and venturing into the clinical practice. So, as I announce your name, please come up on stage with your coat to your academic advisor. Okay. All right, Zoe Debsky. As you can tell, it's a tight-knit group that likes to hug. We'll be hugging a lot today. All right, next, Gabriel Grasta. Congratulations. No, you're going to go to the okay. Okay. Morgan Garcia.
Can't walk in these shoes. I feel like that's all you can do. Nice, congratulations.
Carrie Griffin. I need to wear like a step towards you. Alana Lee Johnson. Benjamin Johnson.
Good job. Thank you.
Aaron Kennelly. Fatah Kademi.
Thank you.
Jamie Martin. Hannah McCardle. Good job in here.
Congratulations. Congratulations to you.
Mackenzie Pritt. Brianna Reiner.
Thank you.
and Joshua Wessler. Congratulations, class of 25. Okay, now I'm going to invite Dr. Grubler to come to the podium, and I'm going to ask the students to please stand. And Dr. Grubler is going to lead us in the physical therapy oath. And this is provided in your program.
All right, so I invite all students and faculty to recite the physical therapist oath. As a physical therapist dedicated to providing the highest quality care and services, I solemnly pledge to respect the rights and dignity of all individuals who seek my services or with whom I work, act in a compassionate and trustworthy manner in all aspects of my services, exercise sound professional judgment while abiding by legal and ethical requirements, demonstrate integrity during interactions with colleagues, other healthcare providers, students, faculty, researchers, the public, and payers for the enhancement of patient care and the advancement of the profession. Enhance my practice through lifelong acquisition and application of knowledge, skills, and professional behavior. Participate in efforts to meet physical therapy and healthcare needs of local, national, and global communities. Thus, with this oath, I accept the duties and responsibilities that embody the physical therapy profession.
All right, now I would like to invite Dr. Vargo, the university president, to say a couple of words to the class.
Well, good afternoon, and thank you all for being here to celebrate this joyous celebration of our students. Students, congratulations. You did good. I had the opportunity this afternoon to listen to some of your presentations, and it was evident that you are committed to your work, dedicated, and that you really, really believe in what you are doing. And for that, we are grateful. It is also evident that you're learning from the best, and for that, we are grateful as well. The pathway that you have chosen aligns with the mission of Wheeling University: life, leadership, and service. And with service comes hope. Hope for the people that you will serve. Hope that you will relieve their pain. Hope that you will make them feel better. And for that, we are grateful. Again, congratulations, and enjoy your celebration.
Now I would like to invite Father Griffin to the podium to say a closing prayer of blessing.
I also want to extend my personal congratulations to all of you. As an aging baby boomer, I appreciate you more every day. I really do. Let us pray. Sanctify, O Lord, these your servants, whom you have called to minister and practice the arts of healing and to the prevention of disease and pain. Strengthen them by your life-giving Spirit, that through their ministries, the dignity of each person and the health of our community may be promoted and your creation glorified. From the abundance of your mercy and love, enrich these young men and women in their profession of healing and safeguard them. Strengthened by your blessings, may they always be thankful to you and bless them with unending joy. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Again, I would like to thank everyone for joining us today to recognize and celebrate this journey of the class of 2025. In closing, I would like to quote Winnie the Pooh, because I got to do some peds in here somewhere. You are braver than you believe, you are stronger than you seem, and you are smarter than you think. Please keep that in mind as you go out to your 2 terminal clinical rotations. So again, congratulations to the Wheeling University Department of Physical Therapy class of 2025. So in closing the event this afternoon, what I would like to do is invite all of our guests to enjoy some drinks and cake in the back in celebration of the class. And I'm actually going to ask the class to stay put for a minute because we are going to do a class picture with all of their white coats, and if family want to take the picture as well, we're going to do it up here on the stage. So thank you very much for joining us today.